overthinking? I think we need more thinking.
A lot of people like to say that, oh, well, SGA deserves the MVP because he is in the best team, the number one seed and everything. But then, okay, what about the year that the Nuggets won the chip? They were the one seed, and Jokic didn't win MVP. That was Embiid.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we put ourselves in a good situation.
And over the shoulder, no looker.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So it's our last back-to-back of the season. Thank God we are finally done with this back-to-back stuff. The Nuggets are getting back, they got back home early this morning at 4 a.m. because once again, their plane had issues, and they didn't leave for another 2 hours after the game finished up last night, which already was close enough to midnight as it was. And you're in Phoenix. You're only like a hour and a half or so flight away from Denver, and apparently the team doesn't own the plane. They lease it out, or they use Southwest. Sometimes they use Air Canada, and I guess there is some issues with this plane, and unfortunately they didn't get out in time that they wanted to, and so something needs to be fixed there for one. Like, if you're going to have these back-to-backs, the travel should not be an issue. You need to clean up any stuff like that to allow these players to get in, and if it doesn't get off on time, then maybe you delay the game, or you postpone the game, or you cancel the game. Something needs to be done rather than nothing, and just saying, oh, well, that is what it is. Nonetheless, the Nuggets, with lack of sleep on the second end of their last back-to-back, now look to take on the Dallas Mavericks for the last time of the season in Denver. The injury list going into this game, as we already kind of foresaw, AG and P-Watt were both listed as questionable. They would count AG out. He would not play this game, but P-Watt would be available. And I kind of already saw that happening. As soon as P-Watt did not play in Phoenix, I saw, okay, well, they're going to rest him in this game, and they're going to play him the next game, and they're going to play AG on this game and rest him the next game. And all management, right? And so we're going to hopefully get our full squad together on the next game there on Friday. But for now, the Nuggets sat out AG. So your starting lineup was Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, Spencer Jones was slotted in for that AG spot there today. And then Jokic. They were wearing their navy blue jerseys, and the Mavericks were wearing their white jerseys, and the Nuggets won. Yes, the Nuggets won another back-to-back. It hasn't been since the the Houston Spurs back-to-back that they've won. It was just like, I think almost a month ago now. I think it was like 3 weeks ago or something like that. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So finally, the Nuggets have won a back-to-back again, and your final score, 142 to 135. Let's go, Nuggets! Yes. So what happened in this game? Well, let's break it down. Right, Mavericks controlled the tip on this one. They had Powell. You know, I already was saying this yesterday, right? And when you look at the Mavericks lineup, the Mavericks have a huge team. It is very underrated, and media doesn't draw a lot of attention to it because they're so focused on the other teams. But there's not enough attention focused on how big Mavericks actually are. And you don't have Gafford and Lively both did not play in this game. And so they still had Powell, who is also big. He managed to get the tip off of Jokic. And then you also have, Najee Marshall? And then there was another Mavericks player who's like 7 foot tall and a power forward. He was sinking buckets tonight. He's a young kid. They have a much bigger squad than the media gives them credit for. Flagg himself is also a very fairly tall dude. So, the Mavericks are not. They only. It's kind of funny because they have so many big guys, and then they have Nembhard, who is like 2 feet tall, wandering around on the court, finding ways to disrupt defenses and everything. But still, Mavericks controlled that tip, and Marshall misses his three. Goes to the other end. Good ball movement from the Nuggets. Finds Cam for three for the first bucket of the game. Kill a Cam, y'all. Kill a Cam. The Nuggets then looking very tired. This is where I noted, because you could see it was very visible, especially in the defense, which defense already has been not so great, but it especially kind of lacked against a tanking team like the Mavericks, which again, tanking teams still play hard this part of the season. This is why I call it the burn it all part of the season. Mavericks were in full burn it all phase during this game. They were wanting just to disrupt the Nuggets playoff seeding. That was their main purpose. They do not care if they win or lose. What they wanted was to disrupt the Denver Nuggets playoff seeding. I honestly think that's also what they did trying to do with the Golden State Warriors during that game. They aren't going to win anything now. And yet, if they play hard enough, they're going to ruin other teams' seeding. That is what they're playing for right now. So the Nuggets just, again, they're looking tired, but give them credit, they are sticking with it, and they managed to climb out of a 4-point deficit that they dig themselves into and take a 1-point lead and force Dallas to take the first timeout of the game. Spencer Jones then showing some really good hustle, saving the ball on second chance rebounds. Jamal then, he led the Nuggets tonight in scoring overall for the game, but he also led the Nuggets in the first quarter, scoring 10 points in the first 8 minutes of the game. By the 4:30 mark, he already had 10 points. He goes out towards the end there. Nuggets offense goes cold, and the defense, not able to protect the perimeter, allows the lead to get chipped away to 1. The Nuggets still managed to outscore the Mavericks 34-33 in that first quarter. Second quarter, Nuggets start off with their lineup of Brucey B, Tim Hardaway Jr., P. Watt, Spencer Jones, and Strother. It's pretty evident now that Adelman is completely given up on Valanciunas. The fact that he did not play him tonight against a tanking team, a big tanking team, is clear evidence he has given up on Big Val, which is really sad. I think Big Val still has a lot of potential for this team, and you're going to lose him regardless. Even if the Nuggets win a championship this season, you're going to lose Big Val. Big Val was only here for one season. You got to maximize the amount of effort you have with him, and to have Adelman just kind of give up on him right now and say, well, we've already gotten our max out of him. We're good now. We're going to go small ball from now on, is really frustrating. I mean, I think that you owe it to Valanciunas to at least play him. You were already playing him little minutes. I was already saying you should play him more than 10 minutes, but at least play him the 5 that you were playing him before. Like, give him some minutes on the court. The fact that he's not playing anything anyway right now, and he's just a basic seat filler or seat warmer, is just really disrespectful, I think, to Valanciunas. Unfortunately, and there's a lot of things right now that are very frustrating with Adelman. Even though the Nuggets are on a 4-game winning streak, I am still frustrated with Adelman, and I'm going to also make another point soon here on more frustration with him. But I digress. So they opt for a small ball lineup, and Tim Hardaway Jr. misses the 3. Ball goes to the other side. Luckily, Flagg misses the shot, goes back to the Nuggets, and Strother with the floater gets the first bucket of the quarter. Strother had, again, some really impactful minutes. He played 15 minutes tonight, and man, I want to see him play more minutes, way more minutes, because I guess like it is really difficult to see who's going to play most amount of minutes or whatever, but right now, there are actually, I would say, good cases for why you need to play Christian Braun less minutes right now and play other guys more minutes. Because Christian Braun right now, I mean, he's having not a horrible time on the court, but he's not having a great time either. So maybe give him less minutes, let him figure out his ankle thing, give him, minutes restrictions or whatever, and you play more of Strother. Strother has been very good for us right now. And the less amount of time you play Strother, the more it's going to impact his confidence. And eventually we're going to lose him, and he'll go and ball out with another team against us eventually, because that's kind of what happens typically with the Nuggets. So, but he does get the first bucket of the quarter, and then Mavs go on a 6-0 run, go up by 3 on the Nuggets off of, again, poor defense. Jamal then checks in and hits a big 3 to tie the game at 44. Jokic then checks back in at the 6:35 mark, and outlet passes to Jamal, slings it to Cam for the 3. Nuggets go up by 1. Let's go. Christie then for 3 gives the Mavericks the first to 50. Close behind though, Nuggets are still able to hang in close, and Nuggets go up by 2. With a crazy outlet pass from Jokic to Jamal for 3, gets the lead up to 5. And Jamal hits 3 consecutive threes to get the Nuggets up by 9 and give him 29 points in the first half. Goes to the line and to get 2 more and gets up to 31 points. He actually got 33 points in the first half. Blue Arrow, man. Blue Arrow was balling tonight. Let's go. Nuggets outscored the Mavericks 34-26 and take a 68-59 lead into the half. Third quarter, Nuggets with their starters and the ball see Jokic go to the rim for an easy 2 and the first bucket of the quarter there. Nuggets offense is clicking on all cylinders, but the defense is still struggling to defend without fouling as the Mavericks chip the lead to 7. But then the big thing came down to was the officiating. I know I already talked about this last game. We had even more cases of terrible officiating in this game. Like, it was clear that the refs were helping the Mavs try to stay in the game, despite the Mavs making bad playmaking decisions. The refs kept on giving them calls in their favor. They were allowed to just completely beat up Jokic and travel. There was so many travel missed calls tonight. It was gross. Like, if that's the way that the NBA is going to get officiated, as soon as Jokic is done, I seriously question whether or not I want to continue watching this style of basketball, because it is not very fun to watch. And so Jokic and DA pretty much both get heated at the refs. They start yelling at them and everything, and I think it actually started to help, because at that point the Mavericks had gone to the line 22 times and the Nuggets had only gone about 10 times. So they had almost over double the amount of times to the line than the Nuggets did. And then slowly but surely they started to course correct. But still before that, the refs helped the Mavs chip down the lead to 4. Jamal then, he can't be stopped, because you're not going to stop the Blue Arrow. He hits a 3, followed by CB for the Nuggets to go back up by 10. The Nuggets had a 10-plus point lead 3 times tonight. They would have had a 30-point blowout win against the Mavericks if it wasn't for the refs. That is just ridiculous. The refs need to be investigated. Just hands down. Refs need to be investigated. With 4:58 left on the third, Jokic finally goes to the free throw line. That's another big moment too. It's just the fact that everyone likes to say that Jokic is a foul baiter and a free throw merchant, because we say that about SGA. But here you have him not going to the foul line at all, despite the fact he's getting hit in the face, he's hit in the gut. He is getting mauled up and down the court for 2 quarters, maybe 2.5 quarters. Finally goes to the line. Finally. It took it all the way to basically the 5-minute mark of the third quarter for him to finally go to the free throw line. That is just stupid. Nuggets then give up 3 consecutive plays, though, 3-point plays, I should say, allows the Mavericks to chip that lead back to 1. So that was definitely on the Nuggets, but the rest of these bad calls, like you had so many bad calls already that it kind of disrupted and got the Nuggets started to play a little bit sloppy, in my opinion. P-Watt then helps build the offense back up, and off a floater gets the Nuggets first to 100. Yoke to Brucey for the layup the lay-in gets the Nuggets lead back to 10. So once again we get back to 10. Yoke to P-Watt, who throws it down to get the Nuggets up by 13, and the Nuggets outscore the Mavericks 43-41 in that third quarter. So despite the horrible officiating, the Nuggets still managed to hang in and get that lead. And maintain that lead, really. Fourth quarter, Nuggets start off with a lineup of Jamal Murray, Spencer Jones, P-Watt, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Strother, as the Mavs miss their first attempt. Strother then, on the other end, misses his first attempt until finally PJ Washington hits a floater for the Mavericks to get the first bucket of the quarter. Murray then gets his own rebound, tosses it back up into the net for Nuggets to get on the board, and Jamal just keeps on cooking. He racks up 5 more points to give him 43 points off of a made 3. And then Yoke checks back in at the 7:14 mark. And then we had Flag gets left wide open for who sinks a 3, gets that lead down to 8. And that's very just typical of the Nuggets right now. Their perimeter defense is atrocious. And to see Flag especially be left open like that, like what happened there? That is clearly a miscommunication. He should not have been left open, and yet Flag for like the first half or 3 quarters of the game was in single digits for points. They kept him down relatively good until then, and then all of a sudden he shot up, making like 14 points in like a few minutes. I think he ends with like 21 points or something like that. 26, yeah. So he had 26 points tonight. Yoke then outlet pass to Murray at the baseline, who gets the bucket plus the foul for 48 points. And then Max Christie makes the Nuggets pay with back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden it's a 1-point game. In the fourth quarter, mind you. P-Watt and Yoke hit back-to-back shots and extend the lead back up to 7, and then Jamal for 3 gets his 51st point. Not the total amount of points he would end up with, mind you. CB then gets called for his 6th foul, which was crazy because right before this play, on the other end, Yoke outlet passed to him, and he gave up a good-looking 3. Man, CB's confidence is frustrating, I think, to everyone. I'm sure it's frustrating for him. I mean, I still remember the loss against Golden State, the very first game of the season, our season opener. And when I went into that locker room and saw Christian Brown down on himself and Jamal Murray talking to him, talking up, his confidence and everything, like, I don't know what it is about CB, but he has got to get better at his confidence. Like, keep on shooting the ball, get back to how you were last season. Because right now, when you give up a 3, you are actually hurting your team. Just hit that one. And if he had shot that ball and made it, that would have been Yoke's 20th assist, which would have been a 20-20-20 game for Jokic. He misses it. He goes to the rim and causes an offensive foul instead. A terrible decision from CB. And so then on the other end, he actually, I will give him credit, he actually defended Najee Marshall very well in this possession, and barely, I don't think he actually even touched him or fouled him at all. DA should have challenged it, and yet he doesn't, which was, again, one of the most frustrating things about DA is him holding on to those challenges, because then you actually got Jason Kidd a little later from this challenging a call on that was called a foul call on Marshall after he fouled P-Watt, and that would be unsuccessful, but at least give Jason Kidd credit. He actually used his challenge, whereas DA, You couldn't pay him to use his challenges. I don't know why he doesn't challenge more often, especially when that was Christian Braun's 6th foul. If you had challenged that, you would have won, and he would have not fouled out. You clearly did not want to challenge that. You wanted him out, but you didn't want to take him out on your own decision. That's what I read from that. P. Watt goes to the line, though. He makes 1 of 2, and then Cam is hit with a stupid foul. So Jokic is inbounding the ball. He outlets it full court down to Cam Johnson, who is guarded by Flag. Flag intercepts the pass and goes down hard. Cam doesn't even touch Flag, and yet he is called up with the foul, sends Flag to the line. That's the stupid officiating right now that is getting gifted to Cooper Flag, who does not deserve it. He's a rookie in this league, and yet he is being gifted fouls like he has been in the league for 5 seasons. Like, he needs to earn that. That is not the type of foul call you should be giving him right now. He is not LeBron James. I don't care how many people say that he is the future LeBron James. Like, he is not him now. You need to earn that. And the fact that he is already getting those kind of calls, I'm already setting myself up to not liking him as a player for the future. Like, I don't want to hate someone before I've even given him a chance. You got to make him pay for that. Earn it. I mean, you need to let him earn that. He cannot be getting that stupid of a call this early in his career. So Nuggets, though, despite all of that, they still hold on. Even though the Mavericks did outscore them 35-31, still, again, Nuggets got that win. Let's go. Final score, 142-135. Let's go, Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets have had the most back-to-backs of the league this season, with 17 overall back-to-backs. No other team can say that. This has made for the most difficult schedule of any team in the NBA. Some will say, no excuses, just play hard. But it's easy to say that when your team hasn't had 17 back-to-backs and a season that was built intentionally to take your team down. Part of this decision came when GMs of other teams complained about the Utah to Denver back-to-back. If you ask me, is also an excuse. So why is it fair to complain about the one back-to-back that every other team hates and just force another team to do 17 back-to-backs and shut that one team down? It is a completely egregious and unfair competition. But despite all of that, the Nuggets have looked back on how they've played in previous back-to-backs, and they give it their all tonight. They once again did start off a little tired, but credit to them, they did not give up in this game. In fact, the Nuggets locked in and took care of business while at home. Jamal got his second highest scoring game, and Jokic almost had a 2 triple-doubles in one game. The Nuggets are getting into playoff shape, and it is just beautiful to watch. Let me know in the comments what you think, but man, this was, despite the terrible officiating for this game, it was still a really fun game to watch when the Nuggets were cooking, because you saw Jamal getting heated, he was getting fired up, Jokic was making the refs pay for their bad calls, and you had great playmaking from P. Watt. Now, let's go into stats real quick, because I want to get to this. Cam Johnson played 29 minutes tonight. He had 12 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. He had 1 block. He was 5 for 8 from field, 2 for 4 and 3, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls was a +7. 12 points, I'm going to take that, He's still playing very well. Despite not making, 20 plus points or whatever, I'm still liking what I'm getting from Cam Johnson. Kill a Cam, y'all. Kill a Cam. Spencer Jones, he played 20 minutes tonight, 4 points, 2 rebounds. He was 1 for 2 from field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 for 4 in free throws, 0 turnovers, 4 personal fouls was a -8. Not a great night for Spencer Jones, but I will say once again, he was playing super hard, and yet he had 4 fouls, whereas Christian Braun racked up 6 fouls. I'm liking what I'm getting from Spencer Jones. Despite the stats, what they show, I'm still liking what you're getting from Spencer Jones. He does not need to score high to give you a great impact. I would like him to stay, doing that, while if he needs to slot in for other players, let him do that. But I think you play Spencer Jones in the playoffs. I think he has earned that spot. And then Nikola Jokic, 37 minutes played, nearly 38, 23 points, 21 rebounds, 19 assists. He was so close, so close. 1 steal, 8 for 19 from field, 1 for 5 from 3, 6 for 6 in free throws, 1 turnover, 5 personal fouls was a plus 10. 1 turnover, man, that is a win. That is a win for Jokic. 1 turnover, let's go. CB, Christian Brown, played 25 minutes tonight, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 for 8 from field, 1 for 3 and 3, 2 for 3 in free throws, 2 turnovers, 6 personal fouls was a plus 9. You know, I'll say it again. CB is great, but I think Peyton Watson needs to start. I'm on that train now. I love CB, don't get me wrong. I think he is still a great Nugget. I would not trade him at all. I would keep him in the lineup, but he needs to go back to the bench for a little bit. Play P-Watt. P-Watt has earned it because from the bench, P-Watt, 23 minutes tonight, nearly the same amount of time that Christian Brown had, put up 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 for 10 from field, 70% there, 2 for 3 in threes, 67%. 5 for 6 in free throws, 0 turnovers, 2 personal fouls was a plus 3. I mean, come on. P-Watt, man. P-Watt. But all of that is great. Does not compare to Jamal Murray, Blue Arrow, tonight. Played the most amount of minutes of any Nugget, 41 minutes. Put up 53 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 19 for 28 from field, a 67% shooting. 9 for 14 from 3, 64% shooting from beyond the arc. 6 for 6 in free throws, 4 turnovers, 2 personal fouls was a plus 10. He tied with Jokic there for that. And I do believe he had the most amount of turnovers, but that's also because they were doubling him up. As soon as he made 31 points in the first half, they started triple teaming him. So, it's going to happen. When you get triple teamed, of course, turnovers are going to happen. You're getting doubled like that. The highest plus minus of any Nugget tonight was Tim Hardaway Jr., despite the fact that he was not having as good of a game. He did hit 1 of 2 3-pointers, and he shot 1 of 3 from field. He only had 4 points tonight. The other point was made from a free throw, 1 of 2 there. He had 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, but I guess, it was more in his defense and also just spacing the floor, for the Nuggets. Because, of course, Mavericks know better than anyone that Tim Hardaway Jr. can get hot. And so I think that they intentionally set up defensive schemes to shut him down, but then they left open other guys. And that is just how dominant the Nuggets are, that they can manage to space the floor like that and make you decide who you're going to guard. And if you decide to guard one person, you're leaving another one wide open for who's going to kill you from either beyond the arc or taking it to the rim. So that's why the Nuggets offense is so amazing and is the best offense in history of the NBA right now. This offense that you're seeing is awesome. So overall stats, we had 45 rebounds, 45 to Dallas's 42. So just nearly rebounded more than them. We had 36 assists to their 31. We had 1 steal to their 3. We had 1 block to their 3 blocks. So they outstole us and blocked us. Our 1 block came from Cam. Our 1 steal came from Jokic. We shot 46% from field. They shot 49%. We shot 50%. 56% from field. They shot 49. We shot 50% from 3. They shot 34%. We shot 79% from free throws. They shot 79% as well. So we tied there. We had 9 turnovers. They had 4. So they barely turned over the ball tonight. Give them credit for that, And then we had 27 personal fouls. They had 22. Man, just I'm really glad that the game is over with. I thought that we was going to go for a long time. Glad that they finished that game up and they got that W. Huge win for the Nuggets, but mind you, well, that means that we are going streaking now. We are on our 4th game, and this is exactly what I said a couple of episodes ago, that the Nuggets had to go on a big winning streak to win back Nuggets Nation. They're finally doing that. Now, because of this being the last stretch or the last back-to-back of the season, we now, as soon as Friday starts, I think we get one more little 2-day rest somewhere before it's just one game every other day. So the rest of this season is very doable for the Nuggets. They've got to stay locked in, get their rest when they can, come back ready to go and ready to start hooping. Again, the 2 toughest teams that we have left to face is the Spurs and one more game with Oklahoma, which again, I am going to say that Oklahoma is resting their starters. They are not going to be as locked in on that game as we all think they might be. I think they're going to just play their bench for most of that, and then it will be, just up to how well the Nuggets will play that in that game. But the other thing I wanted, actually, first of all, so because of that win, the Nuggets actually are now a game and a half still from the Lakers, because the Lakers won tonight. As I thought, they beat the Pacers. Of course, they're going to beat the Pacers. So, but they barely beat the Pacers. They only beat them by 7 points. So they almost lost that game, which is actually surprising to me. I thought they would blow them out, and now they have, a 3-game homestand against the Nets, the Wizards, and then one other tanking team, and then they face the Cavs at home as well. So it's I think a 4 or 5 game homestand. So they're gonna at least go on another little winning streak here. So might as well keep on winning while they're winning to keep in close striking distance there. But then Houston Rockets tonight lost to Minnesota Timberwolves. As this was happening, I kind of saw that maybe it was better for the Rockets to win tonight and the Timberwolves to lose, because then that would actually, keep the Timberwolves a little bit more behind, because we are already a game and a half ahead of Houston. But now we definitely did separate a little bit more from Houston tonight, but we're still really close to Minnesota. Minnesota needs to lose some, because they're only a half a game behind us. So if we lose one game, we're tied with them. We still keep it. But if they win a game, then all of a sudden we flip and we're the 5th seed, they're the 4th seed. So the big thing here. And the other thing too is that Ant is still out and they are still playing well. That's very, amazing to see nonetheless. Not much more you can say than that. And then the other big thing tonight was that the Celtics won against OKC. I kind of foresaw that happening, and I've never been this happy that the Celtics have won. I never thought I would be this happy that the Celtics won a game, but they did it against OKC, and now this means that the Spurs are just 2 games behind OKC. The Spurs are on a 7-game winning streak, and there is a fairly possible chance the Spurs could take over the 1st seed. It is completely dependent on the next stretch of games, but man, if the OKC is playing the Lakers twice still, and with how good the Lakers have been playing, it is very possible that they could beat OKC, and those are 2 games right there. If San Antonio beats a couple of other tanking teams and the OKC loses to the Lakers in this clutch season part, it is very possible that the Spurs could end up the 1 seed at the end of this season, and OKC goes to 2nd seed. That'll be crazy, but crazier things have happened. We lost the 1 seed to the Spurs, so Spurs are just ruining people's seasons now. But I just also wanted to talk on this whole MVP, since now we're getting close to the end of the season, and people are starting to talk about the season awards and everything. There have been a lot of straw man polls out there talking about who's projected to win and everything. And right now, SGA is fronted, followed closely by Luka, and then you have Wemby very close. And then they're also now interjecting Jaylen Brown into that conversation, which leaves Jokic around the 5th position. I think this is crazy. To me, it's crazy that Jokic was in the front running for MVP this season before he went down. He actually surpassed SGA finally and was in the front running for how well he was doing, because it was undeniable. No matter how fatigued you were at voting for Jokic and seeing him in the conversation, you could not deny how amazing of a season he was happening. And then he got hurt, and all of a sudden, because of the fact that it has been a struggle for him to get back into shape after that month of not playing, has ruined a lot of that talk. And now people are off the wagon. And so for me, I hope that SGA doesn't get hurt. I don't want to see him get hurt. But if he ever does get hurt, I hope that the media, all of the media, treats SGA the same way that they are treating Jokic right now. If you don't, then it is completely hypocritical and biased. I mean, a lot of people like to say that, oh, well, SGA deserves the MVP because he is in the best team, the number 1 seed and everything. But then, okay, what about the year that the Nuggets won the chip? They were the 1 seed, and Jokic didn't win MVP. That was Embiid. So your argument of, well, the best player on the best team should win the award, that to me does not compute. Because, again, the best team in the league is there because of the team, not because of one person. And when you look at the discrepancies of how well Oklahoma does with and without SGA on the court, there's not a lot of big margin there. They still play well with or without SGA. This season is a very different type of season, and it is the first season that the Nuggets have actually done fairly well without Jokic on the court. And so I'm not going to say that Jokic has made a dominant case lately for MVP, but I don't think that SGA has made a best case either. Now, the other side of things is Luka. Now, Luka and SGA both play the same style of basketball. They both are foul baiters, and they like to, draw that contact and everything, and then go to the line on what are arguably, some bad calls, and but they take advantage of the rules of the game. That is what they do. They are very good at taking advantage of those rules, those loopholes, right? To me, Luka has more of an impact on the Lakers than SGA has on OKC. So for me, I would say Luka has a better MVP case than SGA does. And for as much as it hurts me to say, I do agree that Luka has a better case than Jokic right now. But I don't think Jokic deserves 5th. Now, when you also bring Wemby into the conversation, I mean, Wemby has barely played this season as well. He's played the same amount of time that he has last season. And yes, he has put up amazing numbers. And he has helped take the Spurs to the 2nd seed in the West. But it's not just him. It's also Castle and Fox and Johnson and all the rest of the Spurs team doing that. Like, they are a very good team. Remember, that team beat the Nuggets with a fully healthy Jokic in November, before a lot of the injury bug hit us. That was only after AG went down, and we already had CB down. So we were down 2 of our starters at that point, and they still managed, without Wemby, to beat us at home. So that team already is a good team. And so I don't see them really making a case for Wemby being MVP. Then you look at Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown, to me, also did make a decent enough case because of the fact that the Celtics were written off this season. They were kind of a wild card. The fact that they have gone to the 2nd seed of the East, I give them credit. But at the same time, they have also done fairly well without Jaylen Brown. So on the games that Jaylen Brown missed and JT was already out as well, the Celtics were still playing fairly well. So I don't think that you can actually make a strong case for Jaylen Brown either. Which then leads me to why I actually thought that Cade Cunningham was going to be the MVP because of how much impact he had on the Detroit Pistons. And you are seeing it right now. The Detroit Pistons are struggling without Cade Cunningham. And it's really unfortunate that now with his time out, he is not going to be able to be in the running or even talks for postseason awards or regular season awards because of that. And I honestly think if Jokic wasn't going to get it, then Cade Cunningham should. So if the injuries don't count, if you don't count Jokic's injuries, and if you don't count Cade's injuries, to me, I think it goes Jokic, Cade, then Luka. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And to be honest, just hear me out here, wild take here, but I think the true MVP of this season is Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton. Listen to me. They went to the finals last season, and yet now that without Halliburton, they are the worst team in the league. You go from being one of the best last season, then your key star goes down, and now you're the worst. There's no better other case on the ground than that. Like, Halliburton is clearly the MVP. Now, I know he doesn't play, so he doesn't get that award, but still, I think that, it is kind of valid a little. It doesn't make sense. Halliburton definitely, once he gets back, I'm thinking that the Pacers are going to be a force in the East to keep an eye on, especially if they keep the squad that they have. You keep TJ there, you keep Siakam, Nembhard, and Nesmith. Then you have Halliburton, and now you also have Zubac. That's going to be a very difficult team to beat. I mean, I think the one thing that they did wrong this last season was let Miles Turner walk away. I would have paid him, and then you wouldn't have had a center issue. And now they kind of corrected that with Zubac there, and we'll see how that works out. But that was definitely a big issue with them for this last season. So it'll be interesting to see the rest of this season, how it plays out. I'm really hoping that the Nuggets still keep on building on this winning streak, take us into the postseason with no doubt that this is the team that's going to win a championship. Got to play harder, got to lock in that defense, and we'll see how they go about with that. But that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, share it to your friends and family, and if you do feel gracious enough to give me a donation, I'd really appreciate it. The link for my PayPal is in the description below, as well as on the profile page. You can go over there and tack on a take about this team, about any of the players on it, about this game, or if you want to talk about another team or another game, we can definitely do that. Or if you don't even want to talk about NBA, you want to talk about another sport, we can talk about that. Or if you want to talk about film, I am a film professor, so we can talk about film. Or if you want to talk about music, I am also a musician, we can talk about that. But I would really appreciate it, and I'd shout you out on the next episode. But you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. We'll catch you later.